Hey there, folks, and welcome back to the Icenia campaign. I am looking at Hibernia right now because, off camera, I accidentally selected this, Consult the Court, this is such a minor thing, it's almost worth not bringing up, but I do want to make a habit of always acknowledging the things I do off camera so that this series is as transparent as possible. The only thing this will actually do, by the way, is give us a claim on the very much unoccupied province of Hibernia Occidentalis, which, if you don't know, is this one here. It's the western quarter of Hibernia. Literally, this claim will accomplish nothing because getting a claim on settlements that don't have an owner doesn't change your ability to colonize them or not colonize them, so this actually does nothing. However, I do want to just acknowledge I did click this button off camera without sort of thinking it through. It is what it is, but not a huge deal. And then the other thing I did off camera was I also had the reminder to start colonizing Eblania Occidentalis, the settlement here. As I will now have a claim in the region, I could start to try and colonize it, but I'm still going to not go for it yet. The claim is permanent, so I just want to get the claim generated, and since I now have, since this version of the Matter of Caledonia mission is a different version of the mission than the one I was dealing with in the past, I might be able to get different claims and advance in different directions. We'll see what happens with this, but it is interesting. I hadn't thought about this, but yeah, because I left and then I've re-entered this mission tree, essentially, the missions are actually different. It's not just the same mission tree that I left. It's an entirely new, regenerated mission tree with different missions because I now have a presence in sections of Caledonia as of when I reselected this mission. So we'll see what happens. I haven't looked into the mission tree to see what new stuff it gives me. I already have claims on the entirety of real-life historical Caledonia, and have claims on a lot of Hibernia through the old time I went through the mission tree. I'm not too worried about that. That's just going on in the background. What matters way more, though, is the fact that we just won this war against Marinia. It's a very decisive victory. Donis really got a bit of a redemption arc with that. And now we have a presence in both Belgica. This is sort of the northern edge of Belgica. And then also in Germania. This is the far western edge of Germania. And this Frisia province is very bizarrely shaped. It is split in the middle by the river Rhenus, and this section over here is entirely uncolonized. So we could potentially start to establish, even actually from our original capital, Wenta Icenorum, it's a straight, as the crow flies, eastern just boat ride over to get over here to modern-day Netherlands territory. I forget the name. I guess in the ancient age this was just called Frisia, but whatever. So in terms of establishing where in this province the capital should be, well, I guess what I should do first is figure out, yeah, the capital. Oddly enough, Manoritum is actually a really good capital location. It is on the river, so I think this indentation that this little river graphic is going through, this means there may be able to be a port here. What's here currently? A farming settlement for fish. Not going to be necessary. Okay, so the port is not actually possible, which means the farming settlement may be necessary, unless I make this the provincial capital, in which case it'd be a city. The reason I'm thinking this could be a good city location, yeah, I guess, even though it can't have a port, which does make Lugaduram a much better location. It already has a port for one thing. It's also clearly on the coast. It's also plains. Manoritium is a bit more central in the province, but if we're not looking at it in terms of who owns what territory, there's not a big distinction between control over the river here. So I think Lugaduram is a better location in that context. This is marsh, this is marsh, this is marsh. And then over here in the territory I don't control, Chamoria is actually... Hold on. Make sure my... Is my audio higher than usual? I think I just have the really loud trumpet music from the OST playing right now, so that's why it's... I don't know, hopefully it's not too quiet now, but when I play, my audio levels always sound too loud in terms of the in-game audio, so who knows. Anyways, so Chamoria is also another really good location. It does border only 3 actual settlements, and Lugaduram technically only borders 2 because it's this one and this one. But this is a bit more central. It's also a choke point against the ocean here, so there's that. But I don't control that. I won't control that for a while. I think Lugadurum is a pretty good location for provincial capital. It's also in a very strategic location to control the mouth of the river Rhenus. So an important location to be fortified and have a naval presence through a dock. This would just make sense as being the provincial capital. So we're going to go ahead and do that. Yeah, let's do that now. So this will cost us some loyalty, and this big loyalty reduction we're experiencing will be improved by just assigning any governor at all, especially if we assign a good governor. Meanwhile, do I need to have a dock in Ganwenta? It might be worth keeping. What do we have here? Fish? Only 4 people, or I guess 4 population units live here. It's a marsh, so it's not a very productive tile. Being able to quickly dock and potentially bring troops here into the middle of my kind of northeastern Gaelic section, Gaelic enclave, that could actually be pretty strategically helpful. Plus, there are pirates who live in this dock, so I may want to someday use their services, or I guess that. I think if I destroy the dock, they just move to a different dock somewhere. So I suppose I can keep the port in Ganuenta. I guess, is there... Well... No, I think I'll get rid of it. Yeah, I'll get rid of it. It might actually be better if I don't have a port there for strategic purposes. Sorry, my brain's all over the place. I'm trying to think about how to, like, translate my brain, what I'm thinking into what I'm saying. I think that it's still better to stick to my general rule of only having ports in settlements I plan to fortify in the long run, unless it's for a really specific short-term reason, like with Manawa. And I don't plan on ever turning Ganwenta into a city to be able to fortify it. The fact that in this game you can't fortify settlement ports is a very big mechanic that drives a lot of my meta decision-making about where to place provincial capitals and where to build what, so it's an unexpectedly impactful mechanic. This fort definitely is going to go away, so we'll just do that now. The capital was moved to Tarwena, which is a very good location, honestly. It borders 1, 2, 3 within the province. It borders 6, including outside the province. It's not coastal, but it is in the plains, so that is something going for it. It's not on a river though, which is not going for it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So if we want to have an inland capital over here, Minariacum is basically the same but better. It's not already fortified. It would cost loyalty to move the provincial capital over to here, but it does actually have a river on the tile, so it would be a little better in that regard. And then down here, we have such a little presence in Welio Cassia. We're not going to worry about shifting this capital around at all. No big deal. But for here, the other option is our dam, which is also inland, but also borders 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's a little more central in the province, and having a fort... Well, let me think about this for a moment. This fort does exert a lot of zone of control, because it borders several pretty large settlements. So if we look over at the fort map mode... Okay, this is actually just a graphical glitch. This and this shouldn't be counted. But even excluding these 2 glitchy ones here, this is a pretty big zone of control. Or I just bite the bullet and move the provincial capital onto a plains coastal tile, which will probably give me less coverage, but it will be a better city location. So one thing I could do actually is, another thing too is, if this actually became a river, then having a port in Ganwenta would be a lot more important. Another option is to actually move the location to Cortoriacum. Now, there was previously a capital in Castellum, because that's why there was a fort there, but Castellum's a forest. We know how I feel about forests. Cortoriacum has a plains, rivered coastal tile. It's pretty good. It does border 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, so it's got good border coverage. If I removed the fort here and just shifted it over here, it would similarly protect the coastline. It also almost lines up pretty well with Lugadurum. Fletio is outside of the zone of control of either, but it's also a marsh, so it may slow down any kind of opportunistic AI armies. This is not very central in the province, but it's pretty central in my exclave, so there's that to consider. The other thing is, there's no reason to not pick like Gesso Riacum as the provincial capital. Even though it doesn't technically border Durawernum, like the sea tile here does a lot to separate them mechanically. Just the fact it'd be so close to Durawernum, just as the crow flies, would feel a little strange. But I don't know if that feeling is justifiable in making a gameplay decision. Probably not, right? I think I don't want to, like, here's the thing. I'm going to pretty soon be conquering more and more territory that's not coastal. On the Isles, almost every province, with a few exceptions, has some coastal presence. Like on Hibernia, everything is coastal. In Caledonia, everything is a coastal presence. In Britannia, I think actually, oh my gosh, what is this? Hold on. Yeah, only Dabunia has no coastal presence, and actually, hold on, that's not right. Even Dabunia technically has a very small coastal presence that's very technical. Everything has a coastal presence somewhere. So I'm almost always able, if I want to pick the usually better coastal provincial capital location. As I began to conquer Gaul, I'm going to increasingly come across situations where I don't have any chance of a coastal presence anywhere. All of these provinces around here, all these provinces, no coastal, no coastal options whatsoever. So in the provinces that are coastal, it probably behooves me to maybe try to ensure I do have these fortified coastal cities, which does mean that even though Tarwenia or Minariacum are both solid locations for inland cities, I do think I'd prefer to have it either switch over to. I guess I could do. No, that's the wrong province. So our options here realistically are Gessariacum, the advantage of which it already has a port, or Cortoriacum. And Gessariacum only has a fort coverage of 4, including one outside of the province. Cortoriacum is a pretty large settlement, so it has a lot of fort coverage. It also is on a river, so that helps it too. I think Cortoriacum, if we're going to move the province anyways, I'd rather move it a bit further away to this slightly better location. So we're going to go ahead and do that. Relocate the capital to Cortoriacum. Yeah, this is quite bad, but we are going to appoint a governor, so that will be fine. We'll destroy this fort. I guess I could leave the fort for just security purpose. Also, we'll destroy this port as well. What do we have here? Fish. That's fine. We could leave the fort to aid in future fighting purposes, but, well, Actually, I think I will leave the fort in Tarwena, was to produce earthenware. It does have a fairly good population, but these folks are all pretty upset. They're going to probably shift around and leave, and just leave the tribesmen and the slaves, so no big deal. But what I will do is I will fortify my 2 new provinces. I guess I can't with you, because you already have a port. I could destroy the port and then build the fort. That's one option. Or I could do something a little bold, and in a couple months, actually just upgrade Lugadurum to a city. This would be quite a drastic, very quick city upgrade for a very new provincial capital. But this is going to, in the future, become, I think, a very, very strategically important location, given its control over the mouth of the river Rhenus. So I think investing in Lugadurum makes a lot of sense. Plus, that would let me fortify it so I'd feel a bit safer with it. It is protected by all this marshlands, so it's not in a very exposed position, but yeah. There's that. I will build a fort, though, in Cortoriacum, like right now. I guess I could build a port there instead, but what does it have currently? A provincial legation. Let's actually go through and make sure all of my new territories don't have weird buildings. This is a mine to get stone. I might send some slaves over. We'll destroy that. Yeah, destroy that. Farming settlement is fine. So we're reaching the point where the AI in most places we'll conquer has actually gone ahead and done a lot of settlement upgrades, which is quite nice. We can always get money back from destroying useless buildings. Like, I never build barracks in settlements. Like, I'm sure I could min-max it in certain locations that don't have good production resources to get more manpower. I just don't care to, like, still be focused on, like, settlement manpower. Like, I want my manpower to come from freemen in cities. That's the way I roll. Not for any particular reason, but it's just easier to keep track of things. If I think of settlements as always being production centers, essentially, or strategic locations for other reasons. Anyway, sorry, that's that. I think I'll build a fort in Coria Toricum because it's just important for the capital to be fortified if I can fortify it, so I will go ahead and do that. Yeah, we got a lot of money from destroying those buildings, so that is solid. Anyways, now we need to assign some governors. Now, let's start with Germania. So, let's see here. Select a governor. Again, high finesse characters are going to be important. We could actually have Buit go ahead and do it. Or, hold on, this is a different Buit. This is not my Buit. This is a completely separate Buit. Unrelated Buit. Okay, yeah, I was just thinking Buit, my brother, is not a high finesse character. Don't know what that's about. Let's see here. I guess I could get this character. He's a Kalatii. How do the Kalatii feel about me? Let's see here. We don't have any disloyal... Yeah. Oh, yeah, their current head is the fairly loyal High Priest. That's right. Who's next in line after him? Maybe this character? He's the next oldest male. 55... Or it doesn't need to be a male, does it? I guess you're 71... You're 67 years old, but you're 71 loyalty. 54 loyalty, yeah. So I think the Kalatii are pretty loyal right now. So we can probably safely assign a Kalatii. I could still assign a Diwikai, and I think it might make more sense to have people in the household be in positions like governor. That being said, you know, they can still have loyalty troubles. Yeah, you're not very impressive at all. How old are my kids? Osenius is only 4 years old, so I hopefully am not going to die right away. We might have a regency, which could be an issue. You have no power base. You're very young, so you're not going to be the head of the family. Here's the thing. I think it's fine to assign even governorships or like generalships or admiralties to people outside the Diwika household, as long as they're not the head of the family or likely to become the head of the family, because that's where they get a lot of power base from. You've seen me just like going back and forth with these heads of families and their low loyalty for the entire game. So Buit is way down in the line of succession, as it were, for head of the family. He's down here. There's like, you know, like 6 or 7 people who are going to be head of the family before him. So I think that should be fine to do that. He's also a very qualified character, so that's good as well. Now, I think I'll assign him actually to Belgica, because I'm likelier to conquer more in Belgica than in Germania. This is probably going to be my only Germanian conquest for a very long time. I mostly just wanted to get control of this territory for its own sake. I'm not looking to expand into Germania much more than that right now, for a long while at least. So we will go ahead and assign Buit Calatis over here. This will also help ensure that the Kalatii are in a secure loyalty position. Is there any reason to assign anybody else for trait reasons? Nothing, I think, pressing enough to overcome Buit's really high finesse. So let's go ahead and assign him. Very good. He's set it to local autonomy. That's probably the smart decision for now. That will help. Already, this is almost under control, which is quite the achievement. I mean, you just saw earlier in this episode the bad loyalty we were dealing with per month before I assigned him. So, all right, now for Germania. This is gonna, for this one, I'm just gonna look and see. Okay, like, now in this situation, weirdly, there might be some advantage to picking someone with really good martial. And not because they'd have a large army, because this would only provide, as will this, only 4 levy soldiers. It's because this way I can have a high martial character among my generals when I do go to war, and I'm probably fairly safe to raise the levy of Germania, which is to say just the levy from Frisia, and just send them over with the Britannic levy to do whatever I need them to do. It might be a little more dangerous to send the levy from Belgica, but the levy from Germania, it's really not going to be as important for this territory to be, you know, have the levy still there. I don't know if that makes sense. But not to mention, as I conquer probably more Belgica territory, drawing the levy from Belgica will increasingly take away more and more resources because the Belgica manpower won't be in the fields and whatnot. But since I'm only going to likely have this be my only Germanian section for a long time, I can basically use this governor appointment to get into place a character with good martial and also good, finesse. So I am looking a bit at Wilibia Welba as that person. It's got 8 finesse, that's pretty good. Or it's, fairly good. 10 martial is really good. And this would finally give me, also, she's fairly young at 42, several decades, hopefully, of at least a good martial character that I can use as a general. Because I don't have legions, I can only use governors as generals. Let's say hire a mercenary leader with their band. That would obviously bring in a good character. So let's go ahead and do that. Although, hold on, wait. This is the character who I really annoyed with that religious activity thing. So actually, hold on. This specific character wouldn't be right, but my basic idea wasn't wrong. So let's switch over like this. Who else is good martial and good finesse? Anybody, anywhere. I guess I'm not going to get so lucky after all. She is the only character who is good martial. Also, by the way, this is the dire state of my martial situation. She really is the only good character with good martial. Why did I annoy her? I think I may have made a mistake with that. I didn't think about the fact that she's the only good martial and finesse character in my entire nation. Oh my gosh. Alright. Yeah, she's not going to be loyal again for a really long time. And the last thing I need is to assign a good martial character who's disloyal to a new province. No, thank you. Local tax rate minus 10%. Don't like that so much. But this guy's pretty loyal, though. And he has some finesse. He's also a Welba. He's a Welbus? Is he a Welbii? Wait. Yeah, he's a Welbii. It's just his name is spelt differently. Very strange. Okay. I think it's probably okay if Frisia only gives us less tax. I'm not going to make much money from Frisia for a long time. And I'm not controlling it for money purposes. It's really mainly, in the war, it was just to take the territory from me. But it's also to control, and now that I'm looking at it from a broader point of view, the River Rhanos and the entrance to it. So I think it's fine if I give this character the governorship. This is literally the second best martial character that I can use as a appointment in my nation. He has 7 martial, and it actually is 8, except he has dysentery, so hopefully he gets over that. He's 26 years old, so that's a lot of time to get over your dysentery, one would hope. 4 finesse is pretty bad, but it could get better, maybe, from something. And again, I don't need this location to be super profitable. I just need it to be stabilized, so let's go ahead and do that. Alright, so we switched over to local autonomy. 0.04, that's actually okay. I think we're in the clear now with these new governors. So, sorry, that was a really long part of this episode to just assign the governors, but I really wanted to make these choices quite carefully. It's going to really affect how I can expand from this territory. Speaking of which, let's take a quick look here. I do have a truce with Wenedia until the end of this year, essentially. And I am thinking that I might... Well, actually, hold on. Before I say what I'm thinking... I am thinking that as soon as I do get another technology, and I'm able to go ahead and grab... Where is it? Triumphal coins. I'll get 5,000 manpower. This maximum, by the way, it's one of those situations where the maximum is wrong, and it's going to change next month, I think. Either way, 5,000 won't hit the max, so it's fine either way. I'll get 5,000 manpower. As soon as I get that, that'll by that point probably be after 25th November. I'm going to go to war with Venetia again and reattempt my war over here. Even though last time it was a bit of a mess, I feel a bit more confident that with the experience I got from the Myrinian War, I can do a 2-pronged or even 3-pronged naval invasion type thing again over here, and it's going to go a lot better. So that's the plan, essentially. Now let's resume, make sure this is all fine. It is all fine, and let's go. I should actually check and see what new... Okay, so no surpluses here. Surplus of fish, earthenware, livestock, and furs, and just lots of fish up here in Frisia. I guess that's fine. Oh my gosh. Vaquea is kind of a local power down here. Technically, they're a regional power, even. I guess I'll sell them first. That's fine. No, they'd actually like to be my friend. Since I'm smelling potential future conflict with Arwernia, I do need a friend for that, or I would benefit from a friend for that. Ooh, Vaquea is actually fighting into Aquitaine. They are fighting Nito Brogia, I mean. We'll see what happens with that. If Vaquea begins to enter into Gaul, I might change my mind about becoming their friend. I also think, by the way, in the past I said I want to just sort of stake my way down here and then just fight Rome. I think I'm not ready for that yet, especially with Rome going crazy in Illyria. I think I'd rather wait for Rome to start to have civil wars and start to fracture a bit more, especially if they and Carthage start fighting more. I'm keeping an eye on that between episodes. I just need Rome to be in a position of weakness before I launch any sort of attack. And I need to have my naval strength be able to compete with their naval strength. My naval strength at the moment is comparable with Carthage, but I think Rome is still by far the leader navally in the world. Antagonids are bizarrely actually better than us navally. I don't know how they're doing that with their situation, but Macedon barely exists anymore. Egypt is keeping pace with the Antagonids. Seleucids are comparable to me, so yeah, we need to really do some naval investment. Not all right now, but in the long term, that's kind of the idea. All right, you want earthenware, that's fine. Probably are going to get a couple more in a bit. My guys are getting relocated over here. Solid stuff. All right. The region of Caledonia. This is the event. Oh yeah. So this is these are the pop-ups for the event that I'm doing right now. All right. The region of Caledonia has remained a valuable source of trade and commerce for our nation for many long years. Many amongst the court insist that such a bountiful land would serve much better purpose if fully integrated under the Britannic banner. Of course, as with all matters of state, many are in opposition, claiming that a healthy relationship with our neighbors is far more important than a wanton land grab. Okay, so we've seen this event before. We are going to go for the peaceful options. That is going to upset our new governor, Inimicus, who's very warlike, apparently. That's a shame, but it just shouldn't damage his loyalty too much, so that's fine. All right. So we are building a city over here. Yeah. City there, and then where's the other city that we constructed recently? Is it here? No. Oh, the other thing we should do is we should set up some colonies. I forgot to do that before for Ossasimia as well. But Ossasimia, its people are more. Oh no, I did do a colony. Okay, I'm stupid. I completely forgot that I already did this. So that's good that I remembered to do that at the time. And then up here, yeah, these are all Hibernians, so no change there. Okay, so what we can do is set up probably 2 colonies over here. One in Cartoriacum. We're looking at here, Druidic Menappeans. All right, and then the Germanians. These are actually, now we're looking at a religious difference. For the first time, I think in the entire series, there's actually a separate religion up here, the Twistic religion, that has a slight presence in Lugadurum. Not going to matter too much. Let's see here. So we actually do have a Tuistic holy site in Fletio. Important to keep in mind. It may not matter very much, but it may come up in some form or another. But it's not for our religion, it's for the Tuistics. Anyways, these folks are... it's Vaocan... Hold on. They're Menappean. Alright, we got our cultures figured out. That's not the culture screen, you silly goose. It's over here. So scroll down here. Menappean. Alright, so they're going to be upset with the conquest of their people. Yep. I suppose that's fair. Found it in Cartoriacum. That is the right location. Yep, Cartoriacum. We'll find a colony there. Alright. The arrival of Iceni settlers has hardly endeared the local population to us. but the foundation of a colony in this area is without a doubt the best way to exert control here in the long run. Soon, even the local Metapian inhabitants will see how our city will prosper and surpass any previous settlements they may have had in this area before the land was confiscated. Alright. That's fine. By the way, the other reason I am still establishing colonies, even in countries, or even in cultures outside of our culture group, is because I think the amount of effort it takes to actually go through with cultural integration will only make sense for extremely populous cultures, like potentially the Awarni culture. If we look at like the right, they're not even spreading their culture, so maybe Punic culture or Roman culture. But the AI doesn't really seem to focus that much on assimilating everyone the way that I do. I really heavily focus on it because of how it affects my levy size, and for other reasons too that I've talked about a lot. But I don't, unless I come across a culture that is extremely populous where it just be really not feasible to just assimilate them, I'll then worry about integration. But assimilation is still my default sort of practice, or my default sort of approach. All right, so we now have a colony set up, very good. And now the other one is going to be for the Meridians. Let's go back over to the culture thing and find Meridian. There they are. Oh, we have Colonial Ventures right now. That's right. Okay, that's fine. No big deal. And we have a lot of ships right now. But we could always have more, though. I think I will... I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna select this navy and split away. Send our other navy to Third Navy. Alright. And then I'm actually going to shift my commanders around in a moment here. And the first Navy is going to head up to Londinium, actually. Alright. So here's what I'm thinking. I'm going to shift my commanders around. I think I've just had the same naval commanders for a lot of the game and not really thought to reevaluate who should be where. But since I am planning to really get into more of the naval game here, and I'm basically going to build up an entire third fleet that's going to be 30 ships like these fleets are. So what do I have right now? I already have 5 Liburnians, and then I need 10 XRAs and 15 more Liburnians. So let's do it like this. Where is it? Build the navy. All right, and then one, two, three, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, I did it wrong. Hold on. Oh my gosh. Let's see here. Maybe. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 hexarrays. That's all of them. 1 Liburnian. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. And then we have 5 Liburnians over here. All right, that's correct. So we are going to build up that over there. Let's dismiss our incumbents here. Yes, I know that annoyed one family. That's fine. Dismiss the incumbent. Oh, that fixed it? What? Okay, that's odd. Anyways, now let's go ahead and assign commanders. I guess I don't need to have commanders because I am paying them while they are in command. So I guess technically I could just not have them be commanded right now. What I could do, though, is find some young people with promising martial to become my new naval commanders. Because I can't really customize my army commanders without legions, I think the area I can express my long-term military plans is going to be with my navy, because I can pick my naval commanders. So, sorry, my mouse is not working as usual. Cohort loyalty gain chance, but we're not dealing with cohorts, so that's fine. So I think 7 is going to be the minimum I accept for anyone here. Boyrix is 7, but he's also 55. Malleus Urcus is 8, so he's pretty promising for sure. I think I had him as the secondary commander before. I'm going to promote him to be the commander of the First Navy. He is the best marshal, fairly young at 27. He's an Urkii, so not too concerned about them. He's not anywhere, and the other reason I want young characters is so that they're not going to likely be the head of the family. The thing is, whatever I do, however I play the politics game in a monarchy, I can do nothing to stop the heads of families from becoming disloyal if I leave them alone. They will just always accumulate so much power base. It's really kind of incredible. So I just need to try and not ever have heads of families be in any position where they can use my resources against me. Because if they're just a politician, which is like the default position that a character is in when they're a noble character, them being disloyal is just annoying and contributes to civil war threshold. But if they're actually in charge of an army, or God forbid, they're a governor or a naval commander, I've suddenly lost control of a section of my nation, and that's no good. So I need to have young, preferably loyal, but mostly just young characters who aren't in line to be heads of family, or they're not from a family, they're minor characters. So Malleus Urcus is going to be our new future for the long term First Navy commander. Very good. And then the second Navy, we're going to go ahead and give to Litauis Diwika. Now, I am skipping over Boyrix, my historic 30-plus year naval leader, and he certainly is going to earn a nice retirement now. But he is... I'm considering this to be too old for my current idea, so we're going to go the complete opposite direction, have a very, very young character be our new second naval commander. She's just very talented, what can I say? So that's solid. Now, the third naval commander, I'm not seeing anyone else with 7 marshals. So do we have another really good young character who's only at 6? So Tascio Wanas Kalatas, so he's a Kalatii, so that does help. He's from a great family. 24, 6 marshal is okay. And here's the thing, like, do I not assign someone and just wait it out and see if another good martial character appears? It could happen, but I think for now, what I will do is I'll have 6 be my soft cap. So we will go with 6, and we will go with, I guess I could go with the even younger Caractacus Urcus. But that's another Urkii. Let me check something, actually. We've got an Urkii, we've got a Diwika, and so let's actually give this to a Kalatii. Let's give this to Tascio Wanas Kalatas. This is absolutely like a roleplay moment. I'm not doing this for gameplay reasons. I kind of am, but it just feels correct to have our 3, or our current 2 and our future 3rd Navy be split between sort of representative naval commanders from the different great houses. Sorry, sorry, WellBI, you're gonna get left out in the cold on this one, but anyway, so that's that. I know I don't need to have any naval commanders hired right now. I have to pay them wages when they're in this position, but I think again, the way this game under the hood works is a big mystery to me, and I think me having naval commanders does increase my power in the way the AI looks at my naval power, which I do care about. Not that I'm scared of anyone who would attack me, and they wouldn't because of my naval power, but I'm trying to build up a naval presence because of my big future naval enemy of Rome. So, or just really anybody. Like, I'm currently comparable to Carthage, Antigonids, Seleucids, but really, honestly, like, Carthage and Rome are the 2 other naval entities I need to think about. There are other nations with navies, but they don't really have anything comparable to Carthage or Rome, or especially not Rome. So, that's that. But once I get my 3rd Navy built up, I will be, I think, probably the 2nd biggest Navy in the world. Yeah, Maria and, Dravidia. Nothing to worry about down there. Yeah, I'll have the 2nd biggest Navy in the world after Rome, which is quite an accomplishment. I am just little old Britannia, what can I say? But we are making it happen for us here. We're going to maintain a benevolent image. Uzdia gains opinion of us. Well, that's nice to see. That Uzdian relation will matter quite a bit, I'm sure. Yeah, our peace with everyone does end on the same day. Now, we still have a claim on Venetia, right? Like, yeah, we do. So, round 2, here's what I'm thinking. We don't just do it this... So, I guess one thing I could do is I could wait until my navy is done. But that means waiting several years for my Hexa race to be finished. I suppose that's actually fine, because this way I can also build up my manpower even more. Yeah, now we're back to that actual cap of almost 10,000. I think I'll wait for my third navy to be done. That'll be my timer, essentially, is the third navy finishing. Because this way, I'll be sure to have lots of manpower, and that'll be fine. What's this? A discreditable dalliance. A young woman named Kunolaba, of little note until now, has arrived at the Palace of Londinium, bearing a baby she claims is the son of King Donis I Duicus. Okay. She's just some character, not a major character, with an infant named Guidaris. After some cross-examination, it is clear that she speaks the truth, and the child resulted from an inadvisable lark at a banquet. Donis, you fiend. This information is known by only a few of the most trusted guards and advisors of the king, and there is no doubt it would damage the throne's legitimacy and upset the consort and any potential successor. So we'd be introducing a... How old are you? Actually, how old are you? I think this just means 0. Yeah, so this character is being generated right now. So what this actually means, and this isn't what the event is meant to show, this character is in the process of being birthed as we talk about him. But, yeah, like this... Okay, Paradox. All you have to do is set this to be backdated a couple days at least. Give it a few days. Like, no one gives birth and then, like, the second later marches up to the palace to say, hey, this is your kid. They need a moment to take a breather after giving birth. So let's not have this happen on the date of the event. That doesn't make any sense at all. But anyways, she is literally in the process of giving birth as she makes these accusations. Could get loyalty with my wife. Not a huge matter. I lose some money, not a huge matter. Gain some tyranny and lose legitimacy. All this is acceptable, but it's not necessarily the best option right now compared to the others, but it is a fine option. Lose more money and legitimacy, and I gain a bit of loyalty with my wife. Okay. I make this character a successor. I think you would be third after my... No, wait, I have 3 children. Okay, Vicenius now actually has the cursed model that is given to young children, so don't look at that too closely. If you say Vicenius 3 times in the dark in a room with a mirror, it says that this image, this guy appears to you and haunts you. Okay, so the game's already actually placed this character in my children's section, so that's quite nice of the game. So you'd be third in line after my son and my daughter. I could drop my wife and make her my new consort. No way. No, definitely not. We're not going to do it like that. That would really mess up my legitimacy. I don't want to lose 20 legitimacy. Here's the thing. I'm fine with this character becoming part of the succession, but I don't want to lose that legitimacy. And also the loyalty of all the pretenders and children, so I think what I'll do is I will make this go away, which is quite alarming, but this gives me the least bad legitimacy outcome. So he has disappeared into obscurity. He's just going to live forever on Donis's page there. So that's that. Anyways. Anyhow, okay, we're resumed. We're good. Alright, so what is Venetia's diplomatic situation right now? They're still in a defensive alliance, but it looks like it may have shifted a bit. No, it's the same. I just killed some of their allies. That's right. So Namnetia, Pictonia, and Santonia are still in the defensive alliance. And yeah, so essentially it'd be the same war again. Canetio is prospering. Okay. Our colossal construct has unexpected benefits in Canetio. That's quite a way to put it. It is now pure euphoria to traverse the market districts and see delighted citizens prosper. What in the world is this language? We anticipate that morale would be strengthened in the region, but to this extent no one imagined. This gives us a great opportunity to capitalize on the momentum we have now. What? Is this like talking about the wonder in Canetio? Interesting. Alright, so I could get a year of really good tax, manpower, and population output in just Canetio. Now Canetio, let's remember, is mostly a slave city, honestly. It has one citizen pop, one freeman pop, and a bunch of slave pops. Get popularity for Donis, that's always a good option. Or, ooh, gain stability and lose tyranny. Now, I don't know why this event gives you these options, because this is like 1,000 times better than these options. Unless it's like a very weird edge case where you need your ruler to be super popular immediately, this option is so much better than the other options. We actually do have a lot of tyranny built up from all the slave selling we've been doing recently, and I don't want this much tyranny necessarily, just because of the loyalty effect, although the other modifiers are actually fine. So, absolutely, yes, we will take that. Stability increase, tyranny loss. Good, good stuff. Yes, indeed. Ooh, love that. Yeah. So far, so good. How are we doing on technology? Almost there. September of next year or thereabouts. Very good. So that'll probably be before all my hex arrays, and I guess other ships too, are done being constructed. I don't need my third navy to be finished, but I want to give myself that... Ooh, Dictium is finished. We'll get to that in a moment. I want to give myself the completion of the third navy as my time limit, or I guess that's not the right phrase. What's the opposite of a time limit? My starting point for... My threshold, there we go. My threshold for doing the war, because the reason I lost the war before was going into it too quickly, and I want to give myself every possible way to slow down my enthusiasm and not bumble into it like a doofus and actually take it seriously. So, the coming of the city of Dictium. All right, our extension of new privileges and investment into the local infrastructure have seen Dictium grow from relative humility into a true Iceni city. These are the best of times. And also Kinedio. Yeah, we did both these cities at the same time. Look at this. The city of Kinedio. You love to see it. And we are going to immediately, finally, almost just like 60 years after saying we wanted to do this, we're going to fortify Kinedio. Long past the point where Kinedio was a border city or a border settlement. But wow, does it feel nice to see that fort icon over Kinedio. We're going to finally have Stonehenge be behind the walls of a fort. That doesn't really make sense, but we're going to fortify Kinedio. That's going to be great. That will also, I think, actually finish our fortification efforts in the region of Britannia after a very long time of not really thinking about it. Yeah, there's an obvious hole where Kinedio is. You can see just by looking at this map here how careful I've been with my provincial capital locations, because these are all provincial capitals in Britannia, in southern Britannia especially. And this is just with basically one city/provincial capital per province. There's probably going to be more good city locations that can be fortified to basically fully protect Britannia a lot more, but there's the obvious hole around Kinedio, so that'll fill that gap up. That'll be good. Get our heartlands better protected as well. And then also, let's not forget Dictium up here. Very good to see things improve up here. This is now going to receive a port, or that's not the right thing there. What am I looking for here? Here is port. I had a brain fart moment. Building a port in Dictium, that will potentially open up colonization routes up here, and maybe give us a reason to go to war up here, and potentially take more territory. But with that exciting news, that's going to be it for this episode. Thank you so much for watching the slightly slower episode that kind of ramped up as we got towards the end, as we're making our plans. I am going back to war with Venetia in the next couple episodes. I know last time we tried this, it didn't go so well. This time, I'm coming in with strategy, and I'm going to actually come up with a strategy. Now that I know I can't block off the river, which I was relying on quite a bit in my original plan to block off this crossing between Nemnetium and Ratiarium. Now that I know I can't block these river crossings in this game, I can still take advantage of my naval dominance to use the rivers to transport troops onto the settlements that are like further inland, which isn't something I really did last time. So yeah, that's sort of my idea. We are going to do it like that, but that's going to be in the next couple episodes. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all next time.